Hello again, friends. Chrissy here at A Little Glam, A Lot of Mom. Thanks for being here today. And as you have read the title of this video, today we are sharing our ninth grade curriculum choices. And it might be helpful to know that I have two ninth graders this year. So, we live in the state of Florida, and students have access to a resource, Florida Virtual School. It's not associated with virtual schooling due to COVID. There are full-time options and flexible options for homeschoolers. This resource is a blessing for many families, us included, as we are a one-income family. So we opted for a flex option, and my teens chose 3 courses on FLVS. Geometry honors for both semesters. This will be 1 credit. Biology honors, also semester 1 and 2 and worth 1 credit, and Spanish 1, and their goal is to accomplish that in 1 semester, and that is 1 credit as well. In biology, there are live labs. There's also a parent portal for me to keep up. If you're a Florida resident, it's worth looking into. The supplies needed for the FLVS courses are very minimal. I would say the most would be for biology labs, but they are basic household items as well for the labs. So each of my teens have a notebook and a prong folder for each class. And they chose a graph composition notebook for geometry rather than a regular subject notebook. For health, I decided to put together a course without curriculum. So this is what I have for the first semester, Maturation by the Good and the Beautiful. And we started this around, I would say, the end of spring, but we did put it aside for summer. So we're going to finish it off. This is one of the shorter unit studies. There are only 8 lessons in this unit study, but similar to their others, there are vocabulary cards, there's some journaling, and a reader to go along with the unit. I am adding in Anatomicum by the Welcome to the Museum series to supplement Maturation. There is a chapter in here on the reproduction system. Of course, we'll read through this, and I'm also thinking some journaling and annotations. Independent readers for health. The first 2 are for my daughter, and these were recommended by the Monson Schoolhouse here on YouTube, so I'll link her video down below. Fit for Good, discovering the connection between physical and spiritual strength. There are principles, patterns, and practices of fitness success tied to our relationship with Christ. So basically, about being good stewards of our bodies. And as the title says, being fit for good, because as we take care of our bodies and our health, we are equipped to bless and serve others. So there are practices and prompts and logging to do in this book, and I think that I might even have to borrow this from her once she's done to read for myself. Her next reader is Stand Beautiful by Chloe Howard, a story of brokenness, beauty, and embracing it all. And it reads, "You are enough. You are a daughter of God, and no matter how hard life gets, you don't have to do it alone." In Stand Beautiful, Chloe shares her story of being bullied about a birth defect as a freshman and how it helped her not only overcome self-doubt, it also gave her the courage to rise up and speak out to help others. Will you stand beautiful with me? Ugh, I love that. This book serves as the encouragement and hope that teens need to accept their unique selves just as they are. There is a special insert with full color pictures of Chloe's journey, a lessons learned section that highlights valuable lessons every teen should know, and an interview with Chloe section that gives readers details about her favorite iTunes playlist, books on her bookshelf, and more. And for my son, The Young Champion's Mind, How to Think, Train, and Thrive Like an Elite Athlete, the ultimate guide for student athletes to train, play, and feel their best from an expert in sports psychology. So, The Young Champion's Mind covers such topics as how to get in a zone, thrive on a team and stay humble, and how to progress within a sport and sustain long-term excellence. I also picked up two workbooks. They are called Instant Help Books for Teens, and for my son, I chose Mindfulness for Student Athletes, a workbook to help teens reduce stress and enhance performance. For my daughter, I went with the Intuitive Eating Workbook for Teens, a non diet, body positive approach to building a healthy relationship with food. So, this should be enough to get us through most of the first semester. I have a few apps in mind that I might add in as well to supplement. I've also booked them slots through our local hospital for a CPR, basic aid, and Stop the Bleed certification course. For language arts, we decided on The Good and the Beautiful's High School Level 1. And because we use our curriculum for multiple children, it always makes sense to purchase the PDF and print. So their LA binders will hold the units, which are basically workbooks. There are 10 units for the school year. Items needed for this course are the independent readers, art supplies like pencil, eraser, a watercolor set or palette, paint brushes, watercolor paper, and my personal suggestion of tracing paper. There are two paths the students can take for this course: the regular path, so finishing in 1 year, and an honors path, which means the student finishes in less than 1 school year and completes 1 or more honors book studies by the Good and the Beautiful. My children will take the honors path, and the Good and the Beautiful recommends completing each unit in 9 to 12 days, given if your student is doing school 4 or 5 days a week. Besides the 5 required books integrated with the course, there is a course reading challenge where students should choose 3 other books from this list to read within the school year. We get access to online resources like grade sheets, answer keys or books, and help videos for students. So, by the way, there are 10 art projects in this course, and besides art, history, poetry, geography is also integrated with this course. So when the student completes all 4 high school levels, he or she will have 1 credit in geography, and included with the course there are geography and poetry memorization flashcards for the students to study. And it is suggested that the parent completes unit checks at the end of each unit. There is spelling dictation throughout the course, vocabulary, writing practice, grammar usage and punctuation, and of course, literature. So that's basically the gist of 1 unit. We will organize all 10 in the binder and probably add dividers to organize. Students will also need the grammar and writing guide to refer to when prompted in the units, and this is a non-consumable item. And as I mentioned, there are 5 assigned readers to go with the course. The Good and the Beautiful actually republished the books into clean versions of profanity, but their bundle for the high school level 1 is out of stock, so I purchased this copy on Amazon, and I'm hoping that for the next unit we'll have access to our local library to borrow instead of purchasing. We are loosely supplementing with the creative writing notebooks by the Good and the Beautiful. There are 2 notebooks for creative writing, 1 and 2. I want all the writing practice that we can get. My teens still have plenty time to decide which 2 of the honors book studies they'll be completing towards the end of the year, but here's an example of a book study my son completed over the summer. I shared more detail in a video on this book study, so I will link it in a card. For world history, we chose Knotgrass Exploring World History, and we love it. There are two parts: part one, creation through the Middle Ages, and part two, the Renaissance to the present. So I'll admit that I was a little bit nervous to go with the traditional textbook curriculum, but let me just say that these are not dry textbooks. So, skipping through the table of contents, there is a big introduction section for goals, how it works, how this program provides credits in world history, English, and Bible. So, 3 credits in 1 year. There's a lot of support for research and writing papers, like this 4-week schedule for writing a project paper, and a list of the assigned literature for the course. And there are 12 assigned books, so lots of reading. There are 5 lessons to each unit, and it's suggested that most families complete a unit a week, so a lesson a day, but you can spread this out for 2 weeks because it's designed to be shorter than an entire school year, so there is some flexibility. And at the beginning of every unit, there is a summary of your lessons and your projects that you can choose from, along with the memory work, again, because there will be a credit in Bible. The reading portion in the textbook for each lesson is about 3 pages, and then there's a list of the assignments to complete for each lesson: memory or Bible, the questions in a student review, which is optional, and we'll talk about that in a moment, the reader, and it's implied that the student should be dedicating some time to the project every day. So going back to the 3 credits that this course provides, the history credit involves reading the lessons and the original documents and answering questions in the optional student review if desired. The English credit involves completing writing assignments and reading the assigned literature. And the Bible credit involves reading large portions of the Bible and completing the Bible study lesson for each unit. The unit projects offer a wide variety of activities that tie into history, English, and Bible. So again, each unit has 3 choices for a project, and your choices always include a writing assignment. It is recommended that you choose the writing assignment as your project a minimum of 6 times throughout the course. And should we choose to make this an honors course, we will add an extra project every so often. There is a 3rd textbook as part of the curriculum bundle, and it's called In Their Words: Original Documents, Speeches, Poems, and Stories from World History, like from the Journal of Christopher Columbus, from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, Hymns by Columba, the Hippocratic Oath, and the student will be prompted in the lesson when to refer to this In Their Words textbook. So I also purchased the student review pack, which includes the student review with daily review questions, literature review questions, and Bible commentary. So again, this student review booklet is optional, but I would say if your student wants to go the honors route, you'd like to consider adding it. So each unit has each lesson has 10 review questions and a commentary passage based on the Bible scripture your student read that day. The first reader, and this is for the English credit, is The Cat of Bubastes, a historical fiction, a tale of ancient Egypt. And again, there are 12 assigned readers, and we purchased the first, but I'm hoping we'll have our library as a resource soon. And Knotgrass does offer a book bundle on their site. I also printed a checklist off of the Knotgrass website, and my teens love this, and so do I. It's a checklist for each lesson. So read lesson 1, read John 1 through 18. My students will also keep their work in this binder, so the review questions and any papers, and clearly they're still indecisive about whether they're going to type or print. So the quiz and exam book. There is a quiz for each unit. So every 5 lessons, mostly multiple choice. And every 5 units, again, that depends on your schedule, but let's say once a month, there will be an English exam, which does consist of more written work. And finally, the guide for parents and answer key, then this needs no further explanation. So Knotgrass offers on their website links to more resources, ideas, co-op groups, and more. So what I love about Knotgrass is that world history is interwoven with English and Bible, although I'm not sure that we will need that extra English credit, but we will see how it works out. But for sure, we are using this program for world history and Bible. This sums up our academic intentions for my teenagers, plural, freshman year. This is a new season for them and myself alike, and I don't doubt that there will be some adjustments throughout the year. So we're open and growth-minded to God's will, but mostly just excited to do this together.